Hi, I'm Randy McLean from Waypoint Analytics. This is Bruce Merryfield, also of Waypoint, and we're having a discussion about a client that we were working with a few years ago and the kinds of results that they got. And so this is all based around whale curves, and when we're talking about whale curves, we're really talking about profit ranking reports. And if you look at this red line here on this particular curve, a whale curve works by taking the most profitable sale at the top of the ranking, putting the profit in the second most, third, fourth, fifth, as you're working through the customers or the products or whatever the list is of. And it comes all the way to the right-hand side here, where the company makes a lot of money on the best part of its business and then loses money on the money-losing part and winds up with a bottom line that's left over here, where the losers have taken away most of the profits made from the winners, but hopefully not all. Some whale curves go right underwater. So Bruce, do you want to take it away and tell us about this particular client?
Sure. This is a customer whale curve, and we're looking at snapshots 24 months along. So when they initially got going, they were making over here. The tail of the whale is always equal to the financial operating profit. So in your year-end P&L, they had about $500,000 in operating profit. 24 months later, we'll see that the operating profit increased fivefold to $2.5 million. Along the x-axis customer count, they go up to about, 3,000 active accounts. You'll notice that the 12 months later that they've lost some accounts. And they've lost some more accounts. You say, well, how can you have fewer accounts to be making more money? Well, what happened was a lot of these little customers here in the middle are just tiny little customers. They're giving you $100, $200, $300 or $400 a year. And they were losing money. High margin percent accounts. But a big margin percent of no sales is not enough margin dollars to cover the cost to serve dollars. So they basically came up with what I call an innovation metric. They said, our goal is to have 100% of our customers be profitable. Is there anything morally wrong with that? They decided there was nothing morally wrong with that, so that's what they were going to do. So they created a division for small accounts with a different service cost model. And so they had minimum orders, they raised prices a little bit, they unbundled freight with a markup in it, so forth, so that if people continued to buy from them, they would make money on them. Obviously, some customers said, well, we don't like that, we'll go paralyze your competitor, doesn't know any better. So they left. Well, this probably freed up energy because they needed to take care of a lot more volume. Because at the extremes of the whale curve, they had unique actionable wisdom. They knew exactly where they were making the most money or losing the most money. They had specific insights statistically as to why these accounts were so profitable and unprofitable. They said, we ought to do something about it. So over here, they went to their top 5, 6, 10 accounts, and they said, we want to just take this relationship to the next level. We want to just walk through and look for weeds between the silos of your departments and just see where there's little breakdowns on friction, workarounds. It's not debilitating. It's just, we're looking for, extra 5, 6, 7, 8% of hidden friction noise that we can get rid of. And by going through there and brainstorming with the people inside the box they were selling, they found friction, and they went ahead and solved the problems. And the customer said, that's so great, can we give you more business? Or by getting rid of friction, it increased value for the customer, but lowered the cost to serve, so the profits improved even more. At the other extreme of the whale, they went to super big losers and said, we have the statistical data that suggests that we are doing some activity together, no bad guys here, where there's lots of constant buying activity and selling activity for no dollars involved in the transaction. So how do we consolidate these in a useful, productive way that gives you more uptime, gets rid of your buying activity costs and our selling activity costs? They said, awesome. And not only that, could you take care of 20, 30% more volume from us too, because we're buying it so much better now from you on a total economic value basis that we didn't realize before. So a lot of these super losers have now gone over here and become super winners, and that's why you see the head of the whale exploding. I mean, it's sort of scary to think, I've got, maybe 100 accounts out of 3,000 that are giving me massive amounts of money, but, massive amounts of money is better than less money, in a sense. So this sort of shows you what happens year over year if you have unique, actionable wisdom that you can focus on the extremes of whale curves. Probably the most actionable would be the customer whale curve. You can find some opportunities in SKU ranking reports. There's no actionable wisdom on just line items, where you'd see that 70% of your line items are unprofitable. I mean, statistically, it tells you the one more order incremental economic theory is killing you, and it doesn't work. But other than that, it doesn't tell you much. I mean, it's fun to go back and look at it and say, whoa, 2 years ago, 70% of our line items were unprofitable. Now only 60% are unprofitable, and look at the profits we make just with that little statistical consolidation.
Absolutely.
So that's the story.
All right, well, thanks a lot. And in fact, we were very proud of this particular success because here's a company with a five-fold profit increase. And it had a lot to do with not just working on the SKUs, although that was part of it, but working on the customers and working with the customers that made the biggest difference at either end of the whale curve. So this is a great technique for managing profitability, focusing your time and resources on the things that matter, and getting an actual result that is significant to the company.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for spending time with us on this. I hope this has given you some ideas that you will be able to use for your company in the future, and we'll look forward to seeing you in future videos.